Welcome back. My name is Candice Sanderson, author of The Reluctant Messenger and The Reluctant Messenger Returns. Have you ever worked a puzzle without a picture to reference? Until enough pieces start fitting together, you have no idea what you're building. In this episode, I share what it feels like to work blindly, only to discover the end product is so much more than you could ever dream possible. Stay tuned to learn more. It started last Monday, June 21st, 2021. I was attending a crystal bowl energy healing meditation at Church of Spiritual Light in neighboring Fort Myers. Now, it had been 16 months due to the pandemic since I had attended one of these powerful meditations. I was way past due for a tune-up. When I arrived and took my first step into the church, it felt as if no time had passed at all. I took a very deep breath and I felt like I was home. I was early, about 40 minutes, and that was perfect because it allowed me enough time to find my place to put my mat and to lie down. And I knew I had plenty of time to relax and meditate before everyone else started arriving. And as soon as I laid down and got comfortable, my stomach started churning. And I realized that was the energy from this beautiful sacred place. It was already beginning to flow through me. As I lay back and relaxed into my surroundings, I had a vision, and there was this night sky of deep blue. And I saw thousands of brightly lit stars that were embedded in that background of the cosmos. Several of these stars began blinking into existence while others were fading. Then a message began. It is indeed a new beginning. Now, I know when a star dies, it takes years before we notice it on Earth. From our limited perspective, we still see it as bright and shining. Back to the message. Change your perspective, my friend. Step into the frequencies of the divine. Step into the timeless nature of all that is. Now, with those words, I found myself zooming through the cosmos and beyond. I was rocketing past galaxies. I felt humbled when I compared myself to these gigantic islands of stars. And I realized that we on planet Earth are just a mere speck, smaller than a grain of sand. The message continued. Know your place in the universe. Know your worth. Know your divine nature. And as those words entered my awareness, I felt my heart swell. And I immediately responded by just naturally taking a couple of very deep breaths. With each inhalation, I felt great. With each exhalation, I noticed something. In my mind's eye, my physical body started to dissolve. So with each breath, the exhalation, more and more my body dissolved until I had completely disintegrated. At that point, my consciousness, my spirit, my soul separated from my body, from the realm of physicality, and my true nature slipped through the ethers like liquid silver. I was free. I rode the waves of this solar system. I was like swimming in these divine cosmic frequencies. As I streaked past glimmering stars, I just admired how beautiful and brilliant they were. And as they twinkled, I had a realization. They were calling to me. And something dawned in my awareness. And I knew that I was part of these celestial beings. Another message arrived. It says, welcome home. Be ye one with spirit. Know that you are all that is. A few moments after that, I became aware of the tones from the crystal bowls as they were playing, and my body just relaxed into those gentle vibrations. I experienced a sense of peace and of calm. I was definitely in tune with the infinite, with divinity. A few moments later, I caught a whiff of a scent. It was roses. And I looked up and I saw a small cluster of people approaching me. They were like in a V formation. Leading this entourage was Mother Mary. Following her were Mary Magdalene, Kuan Yin, and White Buffalo Calf Woman. They were close behind. When Mother Mary approached me, she placed a red rose behind my left ear. Then she bent down and kissed me on my forehead. The kiss sent me into an even deeper state of relaxation. And I felt myself just floating in this timeless, blissful void of nothing but peace and serenity. When the scent of roses became stronger, I opened my eyes. And from above, I saw this enormous pink quilt. It was suspended in midair, just hovering near the ceiling of the room. As I looked closer, I realized this blanket was made out of thousands of pink roses. It then began drifting downward very slowly until it had covered the entire room. All of us that were now at the meditation, we were covered in this beautiful, soft fragrance. And then I heard these words: "This is a blanket of divinity, of love, of compassion, of protection. This is the love that a mother has for her children. It is sacred. It is holy." After I heard that, and as I was laying there and just feeling this blanket, divine blanket cover us, I felt whole and complete. As I was resting into those frequencies, there was this rhythmic chant that sounded in the distance. And with each second, the voices got a little louder until I finally understood what they were saying. Malkut, Malkut, Malkut. This single word echoed in the back of my mind. I knew I'd heard the word before, but I had no idea what it meant. The chanting faded, and it made room for the following message to arrive. Bring these sacred energies back home to the divine. Bring them back to earth. Let goodness and mercy follow you all the days of your life. We have come full circle. Let it be, let it be. Be one with all. You have entered the sacred circle of the divine. At this point, the refrain from the Beatles song, for those of you who remember it, Let It Be, played over and over in my mind. Words like Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. And as those words eventually slipped away, then my physical body began to feel like it was melting. And once again, my consciousness slipped from my physical body, and it slipped into the floor, and it went deeper and deeper. It was reaching through the layers of the earth until I reached the very central of our beautiful planet. And I reached a crystal that was at the core of Earth. I realized that I had indeed come full circle, just as the message had indicated. I had gone from zipping past galaxies in the cosmos to coming back to Earth and being at one with her core. And I thought I couldn't want for anything else. It was perfection. Now, let's talk about part 2. For me, this was a fascinating adventure, and I couldn't wait to learn more. When the event ended, they always say, "Does anyone have anything to share?" And usually they look at me, so it's like, okay, I'll share. So I shared my experience with my fellow meditation attendees. And Yvette, who was playing the crystal bowls during the event, said something that put a smile on my face. She reported that the church had gathered 2 days before in the very same room to honor Mary Magdalene. And the symbol of Mary Magdalene's order, guess what? Pink roses. So obviously, the church's ceremony to honor her was still actively present during our meditation. And that's why I picked up on that energy. Now let's take a look at the chanting. Right after those pink roses blanketed the room, I heard Malkut, Malkut, Malkut. Yet I documented it in my notebook as Malkuth, Malkuth. So imagine my surprise when my after the fact research revealed that it is indeed pronounced Malkut, and it is spelled exactly as I'd written it in my notes. But what does this word mean? According to online sources, Malkut is the 10th Sephiro, and I probably am not pronouncing that correctly, in the Kabbalistic tree of life. Now, I'm not going to pretend to understand the full meaning of that, other than I know it's important and I know it's sacred. I also learned that Malkut means kingdom. It is considered by some to be a cosmic filter that connects the energies to Earth. Connecting Earth to the solar system, that's exactly what I experienced in my travels throughout the stars on my voyage to the center of the Earth. Let me share with you a quote describing the function of Malkut. For me, it was an elegant tie to the vision that I had. The divine energy, Malkut, comes down and finds its expression in this plane. And our purpose as human beings is to bring that energy back around the circuit again and back up the tree. This matched key elements from the vision, flying through the cosmos, zipping around stars and planets, and returning to and through Earth. As I reviewed the message immediately following the chanting, it mirrored my finding. It's as if the chanting called those energies back from the cosmos, accurately describing with words like bringing sacred energies to this divine back to Earth, coming full circle, and the sacred circle of the divine. I guess I'll never get tired of discovering validations to my adventures into the non-physical realms. Perhaps it's rooted in my training as a psychologist, data mining. That was a way of life for me. However, I never expected it to play such a significant role in my spiritual journey into the world of the non-physical. My life changed in August 2013 during that early morning commute to work when the doors to the non-physical opened. Over time, I learned to trust the information I received because of these after the fact confirmations. Each search engine hit added pieces to that puzzle, and they were fitting neatly in place and completing more of the mosaic that had become my life. My life expands with each validation, but my life constantly nudges against the boundaries of my belief systems. And I realize I am no longer the person I was before August 2013, when those doors to spirit sprang open. I grow every day, learning and experiencing, pushing against the belief systems that once defined me. And you know what? I couldn't be happier. So I want to thank you for joining me today. If you haven't, I would love for you to subscribe, share, and like. And until next time.